Is this their best chance at winning a chip together? Let me kind of explain what I'm talking about. Bron's obviously not getting any older or not getting any younger. He's already 40 years old. By the time next year comes, I know we've been saying this for a while, but at some point, he'll continue to kind of slow down and he won't be the same player. This is what I think makes it interesting about this year. The question of, is this their best chance to win a championship together? I think knee-jerk reaction, it's like, no. They didn't put together the right roster. They had to just make the trade and figure it out from there. Look how good they've been with an imperfect roster. And in the summer, they can now make some more adjustments and kind of see where they go from there. Here's the only problem with what happens after this year. I think there's a combination of what the West looks like this year and what the West can look like next year. But here I think becomes the issue. There's some things that play to their advantage, and there's some things that go against them. Let me make a case of why this year could be the best chance that LeBron and Luka have of winning a championship together. First off, they're already in the playoffs. They get a week rest. I think the seeding-wise plays to their advantage. They get to avoid some teams that I think you would like to avoid until you get further in the playoffs. They're going to be playing teams that are very inexperienced in the first couple of rounds, it seems like, unless, if Golden State beats Memphis tonight and then they beat Houston, then, okay, we can wipe that one away. But if it's Minnesota in the first round and then Houston in the second round, clearly some inexperience there. I mean, maybe even get Thunder in the third round in the Western Conference Finals. There's some more inexperience that you get. The setup that they have this year is interesting. The West doesn't have a dominant team. OKC on paper is a dominant team. All right, they had kind of a rough final week of the season. Lakers played them well in 2 games. Could have probably took both games in OKC. I think Lakers look at that matchup and say, all right, we're okay with this matchup. Lakers are probably as healthy as you're ever going to see them. They're healthy, obviously, at the right time. Here's what happens in the offseason. I do think Lakers are going to do everything they can to obviously improve the roster, to get better and find a way and find some advantages to fill in the holes that they have. However, the West is only going to get better as well. And, you start looking at some of these young teams. Does OKC go out there and say, hey, we got to go swing for the fences and go get another player? Does Houston start to swing for the fences? What does San Antonio look like with De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama? And what kind of moves do they make in the offseason? Where does Kevin Durant end up? Does he end up in the perfect situation or an awful situation? I think the question mark that happens after this season, which is always kind of fascinating in the offseason, how much better does your team get? How much better does your conference get? Does the East get better? Does it get a little bit more competitive? And I don't have answers to all these, but looking at this year and kind of asking that question, is LeBron and Luka, is this their best chance to win a chip together? Is this LeBron's last chance to win an NBA championship? Could this be it for him? Could this be his last best opportunity? The West is wide open right now. What does the West look like next year? And what does LeBron personally look like next year? I think are all questions that you have to ask yourself. So something to keep in mind in regards to all that. All right, I do want to look at some of the comments here. And then I got a couple other topics I want to get into that are a little bit more NBA related. All right, let's take a look at some of the comments here. Shout out to everyone giving some love here and throwing in some supers here. Lakers are going to play Wolves size off the court and win in 5. A lot of confidence there. A lot of confidence from a lot of Laker fans, to be honest with you. I think a lot of Laker fans are not too concerned about this series. Play that size off the court. I think they're almost better off when that size is on the court. I think teams trying to go small against the Lakers is probably a better strategy for them. I feel like that's almost a better strategy. Thank you for the super, brother. I appreciate you. All right. Wonder how many rookie coaches have gone 50-plus wins in their first season. JJ deserves to be in the Coach of the Year talks. 2 a.m. in Australia. Love the show. I appreciate you, brother. Sergeant Dude, thank you for the super. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being in Australia and hanging out at 2 a.m. That's phenomenal. Yeah, I think that's part of the reason why nobody has concerns talking about JJ. Nobody's really pausing about, JJ Redick is the coach, and that's a huge disadvantage for the Lakers. I don't want to just kind of keep harping on Darvin Ham. I know that's come up a lot, but Darvin Ham and Michael Malone, that was kind of a wild difference between those two coaches as far as strategy goes, key situations, key moments, adjustments. That wasn't his strength. I don't think that was, clearly his strength. JJ's got a little bit of all that. Thank you for the supers. I appreciate it, fellas. Let's see what we got here. No, ZJ, incorrect. Not scared of him. I still want to play him in the first round. And by the way, I was talking about it. I just want to see something different too. I think Lakers beat the Golden State Warriors, but I think it's a long series. Not scared of them. I don't think there's a team really in the Western Conference that can go up and beat, and then that includes the Oklahoma City Thunder. So I disagree with that one. I mean, if by the way, if it comes off that way, then I'll tell you, the Warriors are a team that I think could be an incredible headache. They play small ball. They like the small ball. The advantage that the Lakers had of going small actually plays to the Warriors' advantage. But I also don't think Pajimski and Steph Curry, that court's not going to combine for 70 or whatever they had against the Lakers that last game that they played. Now they're not in the bracket. Well, they could technically be in the second round of the bracket. Play them in the second round is fine. Playoff time always gets me stressed and anxious. Let's go Lakers. There's no way LeBron's winning 3 competitive rounds in the playoffs before reaching the championship. He can't do it. Well, here's a good thing. He doesn't have to do it. You shouldn't say there's no way LeBron's winning 3 competitive rounds. What you should be saying is there's no way the Lakers are winning 3 competitive rounds. If this whole thing was on LeBron, then I'd be concerned. The good news is it's not all on LeBron. This is on LeBron, Luka, Austin Reeves, JJ Redick, Dorian Finney-Smith. It's a squad. It's the equivalent of when I was saying, if this is Anthony Edwards trying to do everything on his own, yeah, then the Minnesota Timberwolves are screwed. But it's not. Or, I mean, let's put it this way. If it is him trying to do everything on his own, then the Minnesota Timberwolves, this will be a very short series. Our best chance will be next year when we bring our core plus whoever we can get for Connect, a few contracts, LeBron coming back for sure. I will say this. I will say here's part of the good news with next year as well. You got some expiring contracts as well. So I think the Lakers have they got some opportunity to maneuver a little bit. So let's just put it that way. There's definitely some maneuvering for the Lakers. A couple first rounders that they have as well. My only hesitation is LeBron would be a year older, and the rest of the West is also trying to move forward as well. The rest of the West is also trying to compete with the Lakers or some of these other squads that are out there. All right, thank you very much for watching the clip. Just want to give a shout out here to one of our partners, the Wallace Firm. They are official injury attorney of the Sliwa Show and Hoops Talk, the entire channel. If you are ever in a need, and I hope you're not, but some type of serious injury with yourself or a family member of yours, I would like to personally help you by introducing you to the best in the business, Brad Wallace and the Wallace Firm. Also got a URL out here that you can use as well. Just go to wallacewins.com/Sliwa. Thank you for their partnership, and thank you for being a part of the Sliwa Show.